Okay. Okay, we're on. It's KUHS The Stream, and I'll tell you what, that's one classic album, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, Greatest Hits, Columbus Story. And golly, look what landed here. In studio, live.
I landed on the wrong floor initially.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah, I always do that.
Greg Nieto, Fox 31 and the Deuce in studio, man. I think you guys need to get paid hazard pay, man. Because you guys are like in the thick of things. Before we start everything, let's talk about that fire you were covering last night.
Yeah, Calwood, I mean, it seems like we're going from one to the other. I mean, you probably, where were you, I guess maybe the question we should start off with is where were you Saturday when everybody could see it from like the highway and all that?
Saturday, I was home.
About 2 or 3.
I was watching college football.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm out south, so I really can't see a whole lot of stuff.
That's true.
But yeah, I saw some pictures of that, and it's horrible what's going on. I saw the story on the families that they showed them, you know, their what's left of their homes. It's just ugly. Greg, you're seeing the ups and downs, a lot of downs lately, being a reporter, and kind of give me a synopsis of what's been happening the last couple of weeks for you.
I mean, it just seems like it continues, like for all of us, right? 2020, I mean, we started off okay, and then you go into COVID, and then we have the protests, and now it seems like fire after fire. It reminds me of, what was it, about 2008 when we had all those fires, and there was the big one in Colorado Springs. It seems like one after the other, and I mean, it's mid-October.
It's crazy. Once again, live and in studio. We're on Facebook. We're on 5 different platforms. Greg Nieto, Fox 31, The Deuce, and the real reason I have him in here, you know, we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. We're about 5 days overdue or past the Hispanic Heritage Month, but it was well due. It was due for Greg Nieto to accept this virtual award that we're presenting to him. And Greg, I'm going to act like I don't even know your past, but
I don't know if you want to.
well, you know, we're talking about the journalism part.
Okay. Got it.
You're being highlighted and featured as the Simpatico Award of the award for Hispanics in media. And first of all, how do you feel about that?
I'm floored. I had no idea.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I wish I had a physical award to give you, but I don't. But you're being acknowledged throughout the Denver community, I think, throughout the state of Colorado, actually, because you definitely are someone, you know, some of these youngsters can look up to. Tell us about how things got started for you.
Journalistically, I think everybody has a different path to where you get to, right? Yours is different from mine and the next guy's, but I've just always I trace it back to love of the newspaper, and my dad would always have the San Francisco Chronicle next to the toilet in the morning, and I had to go see what happened in the world the day before. I just think that love of what happened, and then you gravitate eventually to being able to kind of tell what happened.
Nice. And so from there, reading, of course, is important, obviously, and I think that's the kind of how I started to just read anything I could. Mm-hmm. So then, what happened?
I mean, I started, the high school newspaper, and then I think actually the best thing that could have happened to me is I wasn't a great student, so I didn't immediately go to a 4-year school. Right. And I went to a junior college, and I think junior college kind of forces you to work a little bit harder. I think it makes you appreciate, because you're working, you're going to school, and I started writing for the newspaper. So really, my background really started in print. I was a newspaper writer for quite a few years, and then copy editor, and then television.
So you actually weren't spoon-fed like I used to work at a sports radio station, and Sandy Clough, I'm sure you know who he is.
Well, just listen to him, yeah.
I was his board operator
for many
years, and I always tell him, you're spoon-fed. He goes, why do you say that, Chavez? Because they used to call me the diabolical one. And the reason I tell him that is because his dad was the editor of the New York Times.
That's right.
You know,
That's right. Yeah.
so and I used to always give him heck, but he is such a smart guy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
He knows his stuff, definitely. Yep. But back to you, Greg. I mean, this city. I think every time we tune in and see you on the screen and see you, you look believable. You say it from the heart, and there's not a lot of that right now. You know, they're just about looks and all that. I mean, you're a good-looking man, though. but you know, let's face it. They're looking for that pretty girl on the screen, you know, to grab the attention. But a lot of them, they just don't have that believability. You know, and if there's such a word, you know. And when you come on sincerely and true to what you're saying. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope believability translates, you know, into credibility.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's it, credibility. But you know, from the other side, you know, you got the old man sitting at the, you know, and it's all color barriers are put aside, everything, because you're covering people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you went to school.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Santa Rosa Junior College, and then I was able to get into UC Santa Barbara, and I don't know, it's what I always tell kids nowadays, if journalism, if you're getting the itch, there is no set path. You just got to, you know, gain the experience where you can, whether it's writing for the newspaper or an internship, or you talked about you in Sandy. I mean, at one point I interned at NPR back in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was filing live reports. This is how old I am, not speaking for you. When I first started, one day I'm like helping them run the board, and the next day I'm filing reports in Los Angeles, and this goes all the way back to landlines.
Wow.
And I remember one time they sent me to a protest or something at, I think it was the Biltmore in downtown Los Angeles, and I had to literally file a report from a landline in a janitorial closet.
Wow, that is so cool.
So.
Well, I can kind of share that sentiment with you, because when I first started in radio back in the day, I had the owner of the radio station. I was introducing a group at a nightclub of all places. And the owner comes up to me, tells me, "What station do you work for?" I says, "I don't work for no station." Gave me his card, called me on Monday. That next weekend, I was covering John Elway playing the Raiders his first game.
Wow.
Sitting 2 seats away from Al Davis.
Wow.
Covering sports.
Yeah.
And other people who have been in media and all that would probably hate me for it. But you know, I ran with it. You know, I ran with it, and I remember that when it, you know, we were just talking about how long I've been here at KUHS, and Henry says, "Hey, we got your 6-year anniversary coming up." Really, it's been that long?
Wow. Yeah.
But you know, it's 40-some years and still going.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when you're having fun, it's not work, really, is it?
Yeah. I mean, they keep saying, right, is if you enjoy it, you know, then it's not really work. But
right.
And there's still times, and trust me, I still don't make a whole lot of money, but it's the most I've ever made. And sometimes when I've had a really good day, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was a life-changing experience, and I got paid for it.
Yeah, and you know, from you know, bringing cats from up in the roof and falling down in the snow, and that's all fun stuff, because people remember the you know, the funny stuff. You know, they don't remember the serious stuff that you did. That, man, I nailed that one.
Yeah.
They remember when you fell down and you fell, and you know, they remember all that stuff, right? And when you said something crazy, and that's what people remember by. Now, what is the most memorable moment since you've been in media for you on the serious side?
I mean, I'd like to think every year there are 2 or 3. You know, one of these days when I'm rocking in a chair drinking a beer, I think back, you know, I've actually started to do a better job of documenting, like with a journal, writing down big stories. But I mean, this year it'd be hard to top what's happened this year between the 3, the COVID and the protests, and you know, it seems like 4 wildland fires every year. But I mean, I'd have to put the protest pretty close to the top, covering the Broncos when we won our last Super Bowl a couple years ago. That was
fun. Yeah.
That was huge. I mean, I guess I'd still, without naming one specifically, I always gravitate back to any time that a story can, I know they call it journalism, but any time that we can do a story that can help a family, or, you know.
And we've been together on a couple of those,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And you've
fundraisers,
fundraisers and this kind of stuff. So here we are in 2020, and again, we have to congratulate you because once again, folks, those of you just logging into Facebook, Greg Nieto, Fox 31, easy to remember. I'm got a face for radio. But anyway, he is getting the Simpatico Award as part of Hispanics in Media, and we couldn't have picked a better person because he represents la raza, la gente, and people in general in a well-mannered way, and when it's time to cover, when it's time to go to work, he gets busy, and you could see it, and it comes across in the screen. It's nothing blowing smoke up you. It's just on the serious side, and I just want to congratulate you, my brother. You know, the thing that gets me now with what's going on in the world of news, obviously there's a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I think you guys, Fox 31 and the Deuce, you own Facebook, man, because every other story is you guys. Who's ever doing their online stuff is amazing.
Good to hear.
Really amazing, and it constantly pops up for me, and obviously I have you down as a because again, I believe Fox 31. Now we got the presidential elections coming up. I'm not saying who's going to win, but what do you think is going to happen if we have another Republican again in the White House and is elected? What do you think is going to happen in the streets?
Oh, I don't know if I would necessarily just say that's relevant to if the president wins re-election. I think whichever side wins, I think it's not going to be over November 3rd. I think there'll be residual fallout. I mean, I can see a scenario where either side, will say we're waiting for uncounted ballots.
The results, yeah.
I mean, 3 years ago, I remember when President Trump won, and I was in Boulder, and there was immediately I guess it would have been a protest.
Right.
And I remember covering that, and that was the night of the election, and that seems like it was just yesterday. So I could see whichever side wins, or Kanye.
Right. I couldn't believe when I saw that on my ballot. I'm like, really? Okay.
It'd be one heck of a party if Kanye won.
Oh, my
Can you imagine that night?
Yeah, everybody'd be there.
Yeah.
Including the Kardashians.
Yeah. It's going to be, remember, I'm looking forward to Thursday's debate as well, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And, may the best man win, or maybe, we don't know. What do you think of the popular vote? What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, you're asking if we've done. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been down this path before a couple different times, but I mean, yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
So you're in the world of media, and you could see how things have obviously evolved for online, and it's changed dramatically. How's it affected you?
The online, and, it's there are a lot of folks in Denver media, specifically like TV. I shouldn't say a lot, but just enough, and more of the anchors that, especially on Twitter, that will make their opinion known, and I respect that. But especially Twitter, I try to keep it with either complimentary stuff or pictures of my dogs and cats, or the Broncos. I hate to go on there, but and there've been a couple times this past year, specifically when we had the protest, where based on a report I filed, people would say, good, bad, or indifferent, or post things on my Facebook page.
Right.
And it was rough. It gets rough at times. People say things, and you're still a human being, and you try to put up that front, but it still at times can hurt your feelings, because your intent, at least mine, is never to be, mean or necessarily critical. But
not at all. And this is why I say, in giving you this award, and the fact that we have, I'd say a handful, maybe two handfuls of Hispanics in media, and the fact that you're still in there, now, how long have you been at Fox 31?
Well, we merged. I'm an original Channel 2 guy, so we merged. It's already been like 12 years, so cumulative. 20 years in Denver on air. So
wow.
Yeah. My favorite part of that, I started working with photographers, right? I mean, I guess it's a feather in your cap, our cap, my cap, Henry's cap, and more and more of my photographers. It becomes, when I cover this story, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I was in 4th grade." If you start, and it really wasn't that long ago. When you think of it, and you're like, "Oh, this didn't happen that long ago." But
right, yeah, I know it's. I have my grandkids, they'll pop up some old school songs and they go, listen to this song.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're liking that stuff.
It's good.
Now, tell me, what did you grow up with as far as music? What was your genre?
I mean, I would say all of it, really. I mean, I whatever we're listening to now, and I mean, I've even grown to, you know, I'm dating this lady who's really into country, so I'm starting to listen to country
Yeah,
now.
country's not bad.
But you name it. I mean, everything. I mean, back in the day, right in the '80s, it was called rap. So we
Yeah.
listen to rap. But I mean, I have a rock and roll background.
singing,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
All that. I mean, I'd like to think that, you know, we'll be some random bar and some random song will come on, and it's like that's, you know,
Sparks a
songs.
memory.
Oh, you say the name, almost the year. You know, it's kind of scary that way.
Say
but-
what was happening around that time.
yeah, that helps though. Music is good in that way. You know.
It
what I mean?
is. It is. So now, what is your schedule like on any given day?
No clue.
Really?
No clue.
You could be sent. Hey, you're going to Grand Junction today. Get up. Let's go.
We a couple weeks back were in Napa for the girlfriend's 50th, and we were on a wine tour, and we were chatting with these folks, and they asked the same question, and he was, I presume, in a nice way, complimentary way, was flabbergasted that he had basically asked you set up your stories for the week, and then you just kind of knock them out. And I said, I don't go in until about 3, and I don't know until about 3 what I'm doing. So I mean, there's that immediate. What's the line? You've heard the line. It's something about, you know, a little bit about.
Spontaneity?
We have spontaneity. I mean,
Spontaneity.
you know a little bit as a journalist. You know a little bit about everything, but not a whole lot about anything, right? And I would like to think, you know, it's almost going to be on my headstone. You
That's
know?
true. I like
That, and he paid his bar tab.
Right, and you paid his bar tab. Speaking of, I noticed you got a bar
Yeah,
38.
yes, good stuff.
You got hooked up there.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, I do Fridays over there.
Mhm.
It's
Great
funny
place.
because people were dancing with their masks on. All of a sudden, the city comes in, starts taking pictures, and here's a bill for $1,000. Why? Because they were dancing. They didn't know,
Wow.
or they didn't. As of Friday, apparently, no dancing at the bars.
I did not know that.
Yes, $1,000 fine. So
That happened Friday night?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
because I know the mayor came out with that. His announcement was Friday in the morning, I think, Friday
See,
morning.
and I don't know. I guess Jen,
Wow.
Jen didn't get wind of that, and they were dancing,
Wow.
and the girl, and now they're coming with the sheriff. Okay, they're not playing. Obviously, this COVID is crazy. Now, you're in the line of fire, man. You're out there. How do you feel about all this?
You know, I was talking about this the other day about, you know, in fact, I posted on LinkedIn, you know, wearing of the mask. And, you know, obviously in this context, I walked in with my mask. You said, you and Henry said what you said about the health, and you're okay with
Right.
how we're presenting ourselves. But,
Right.
yeah, I mean, anytime it's indoors, I wear it. You know, it all depends on where you go in the country, too. In the past 3 months, I've been to both South Dakota, where you can't find anybody wearing a mask,
Wow.
and California, where you even outdoors very rarely see somebody without their mask on. So,
Right.
I mean, I just err on the side of caution. You work, your office is a car, so you're in close proximity with your photographer. So, you know, I just always feel it can't hurt to overuse it. And then if someone says, "Hey, you're fine," or "I'm okay with
Yeah.
our distance."
So let me tell you an instance where you know, obviously I have a real job, and at this job, the owner of the company constantly, nonstop, gloves and masks.
Mhm.
One night, just the other night, he started getting like these brain freezes in his head,
Okay.
and then his nose started bleeding.
Wow.
Called the doctor. He goes, "Are you wearing your mask all the time?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You're breathing your same oxygen. You need to stop." So, do you wear it or you don't? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you got to give your body some new oxygen, obviously. And this guy, from the moment he woke up to the moment he went to sleep, other than eating,
Mm-hmm.
he's wearing his mask.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're not Dr. Fauci, but you know, that's interesting.
Yeah, I like to. I mean, it kind of. I working nights. You know, most of my morning by myself in my condo, or I go,
Right.
you know, out and about. So that helps. Then you get to the newsroom, and very rarely do you go into the newsroom anymore.
Yeah.
And I never really did, because I like to. The news is out there. I like to already be in the car, ready to go.
Right, that's cool.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just. I don't know. They say that's, you know, we're going back into the winter months and all that. So I guess brace yourself.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Greg, I know you're a busy guy. I wanted you stop by and you know, be awarded and be noticed and recognized for the work that you're doing in our community. I mean, every time I turn around, I tell him, hey, that's my buddy. He says, man, you know that guy? Yeah, man, he's down to earth, this kind of stuff. And so keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it.
You know, this city loves you, and we know you're a diehard Bronco fan. That's why I wore my Bronco stuff for you, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I had mine on. That was a nail biter on Sunday. It was a good feeling.
It was a good feeling, wasn't it?
Mondays are much different when we win, are they
Hey,
not?
do you think do you think we just might have the right defense and the right offensive line now?
Well, it was nice to, yeah. I mean,
could
felt
this
good.
be? You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm trying to temper everything because Mahomes is coming to town and all that.
Mahomes is coming to town.
Yeah.
The half of what is it? The $500 million man is coming to town.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be interesting? I mean, the Raiders took him down. Why can't we do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's at home, right? It'll be
And it's at
5,000
home,
fans.
Yeah. I mean, and are they going to let 5,000 fans?
As far as I know, that's it remains in effect.
It remains in effect.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, again, Greg, I know you're a busy man, and we appreciate you coming in. I know you're always accessible to KUHS. We appreciate you. Anything you want to say to your fans out there? I mean, it's wide open for you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, to the 2 or 3 that are out there. I mean, I say this all the time. If you have story ideas or community concerns,
Right.
feel free to contact me at the station. I know it's easy to get anybody's. The other day, we're at a dive bar, which I love dive bars, in Thornton.
Right.
Called, it wasn't Brewski's, but it was another one. And we just walk into the bar, and these 3 Mexican dudes, one comes over and he's like, hey man, are you so-and-so? Because if you are, my buddy's going to buy me a beer. And so I said, yeah, I am. And so the other guy in the meantime pulls me up just randomly on his phone, and he goes, because I'm looking like I am right now, it's like, that's not him. I don't know you a beer. So they didn't even believe it was me. But I would just, the best stories come from the community, and the best stories come from people who feel they don't have a voice, feel like you have a voice.
There you go.
Both on Channel 2 or Fox 31, and it could anything regarding your family, your pets, COVID, HOA.
You'll even get the cat down from up in the tree.
I'll get the cat down from up in the tree. So feel free. It's my honor to help you.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Greg, thank you so much for stopping by. And again, the doors are always open to you here at KUHS. And congratulations to you, man. You're well. I mean, we didn't even have to think twice about this. It says, yeah, it's great. So congratulations to you. And hopefully by next year, we'll create it so much revenue, we can actually give you a nice plaque.
It's all good. It's all good. Just the mere mention is good enough for me.
But yeah, you're definitely up there for us, and who knows, maybe 2 years in a row, and go Broncos, huh?
Go Broncos.
All right, there you have it. Greg Nieto from Fox 31 and the Deuce live in studio at KUHS, and we took all the precautions, folks. We're good. So thank you all for listening to KUHS, the stream, and we'll be back live on air now. Those of you on all those 5 platforms, tune in and listen to some great music. Thank you once again. Greg Nieto, Fox 31 and the Deuce on KUHS